Hi there, LJUMC family. At the beginning of this month, I told a story in one of these weekly videos about a broken guitar and how that might be an allegory for sometimes the ways we treat ourselves and don't see some of the cracks in our surfaces, some of the ways that we are, to use a musical term, out of tune with what's going on around us. I've noticed those cracks in some of the ways that I'm a little bit out of tune sometimes. Maybe my temper is short. And so I've recognized the need for me to take a leave. And you all know about this. I talked about this a month ago. I've talked about this in SPRC meetings. I've talked about this with our district superintendent. I've talked about this in church council meetings and in sermons. This is not news for you, at least I hope it's not. But I wanted to share a bit more information, including, why do pastors get to do this? What kind of leave is this? In our book of discipline, the document that we use to order ourselves as a denomination, specifically in paragraph 350.3, is an allowance called a formational and spiritual growth leave. Now, sometimes we've been sort of colloquially calling this a sabbatical. According to our book of discipline, a sabbatical is a different thing. A sabbatical means a pastor elects to move out of their appointment. That's not what I'm trying to do. But a formational and spiritual growth leave is something that allows a pastor to take a shorter period of time than a sabbatical, but retain their appointment. I hope to come back to you all. And so this is a shorter leave, only 3 months, although the book of discipline for this leave allows up to 6 months. This is a 3-month leave. And as you may remember, I'll be gone for August, September, and October. I'll come back in the beginning of November. And so this is sort of the structure by which this is taking place. And this requires, the approval of the SPRC committee. And, we notified the church council and the district superintendent and the bishop are all involved and have approved. So that's sort of the structure. But I thought you might also like to know a little bit of what I'm going to be doing. You see, a formational and spiritual growth leave requires some work to be done in terms of that spiritual and formational growth. Now, you all know that I love music, and I've said before that music soothes my soul. So a big part of what I'm going to be doing during this 3-month formational and spiritual growth leave, I've been calling it a renewal leave, but really that's the official title, formational and spiritual growth. Part of what I'll be doing is a music project. More specifically, and I want to share with you this goal. It's a goal. I may not reach this goal, although I'm going to work really hard to make it. My musical goal for this 3 months off is to record and complete a 5 or 6 song EP, extended play. It's sort of like an album, but shorter. So a 5 or 6 song EP that I would like to release on the various music streaming platforms. This is, for me, it feels like a lofty goal. It's not a certainty that I'm going to reach this goal, but that is my goal, one of my goals. I also would like to do a little bit of travel that has to do with formational and spiritual growth. I'm going to take my kids to Hawaii, and that will be an act of spiritual bonding and connection as family. As we talk about the importance of a church family, I hold a high value on my family. And so we're going to take a trip together. I also want you to know I'm going to take another trip. Separate, this one won't be with my kids, but I plan to take a trip to Europe. And part of that trip will be in London. And you may remember that the founder of the United Methodist tradition, John Wesley, spent quite a bit of time in London. It's where he had his Aldersgate experience. What a wonderful opportunity it might be to trace some of those options and have a little fun, rest, renew myself, so that after these 3 months, when I plan to come back in November, that I might have experienced formational and spiritual growth, and that I might come back with renewed energy, renewed vigor, renewed passion for ministry. So I just wanted to share a bit of those details with you. I hope to share more along the way. Grace and peace to you, my friends.